Howdy, folks. That literary lady here. Happy or Merry Christmas. And on the 9th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me Mr. William Lee. William, as you can see, my singing skills are not on point, but thank you for joining the show today.
And no problem at all. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very grateful.
You're welcome, and we're glad to have you. And just for our audience members, I want to give you a little teaser on William Lee. He is an extraordinary person, at least according to his mother and business associate. He is a graphic designer, an entrepreneur, an aspiring author, and overall businessman. One thing I found about reading William's biography is that his mission is to leave a godly legacy for his children's children, not his children, but his children's children. William, can you explain to our audience what you mean by that?
There's a couple different reasons I mean by that, and let me start off with number one. The first reason I mean by that is because my father had so many talents, but he never really applied himself. So my father could have been, he really could have been up there with Oprah and them. He could have been a billionaire, but he really didn't do anything. And I never had a father figure. He really didn't do anything for me. But the only thing that he instilled in me was to walk like a man, talk like a man, and to always be a gentleman. So that's kind of like the only things that he instilled in me. He still gives me wisdom this day. I respect him. I can call him up anytime, and we always have a great relationship. But I truly realized that I really would have had more out of life, like if he would have pursued his dreams and so forth. I probably wouldn't have had these past situations come up. But it's not about that. So I really believe that God gave me double that,
right,
to be able to make it happen for myself and my family. So that's why I'm so driven. And I'm just so passionate and motivated. There's a legacy that's inside of me, and in order for me to get it out, like I have to have a good work ethics, a good communication skills, and to be able to just do good business with people and treat people good. So with my gifts, you can have all the gifts and talents in the world, but if you don't have those components in place, you really won't go far in life. So,
right.
But the gifts and talents are they added? There's something that God gave you to make things happen. So, but He always gives you knowledge and wisdom. So that's the reason I want to do it. And of course, the Bible said, leave an inheritance to your children. So, I want to be able to follow that biblical principle as well.
Right, and that's a good principle to follow. And in the story that you just told us, I hear a testimony, and later on we'll talk about the book that you are writing, because I truly believe that God does things, puts you in places and situations to bring you to where you are and to where you are going. And a lot of people don't like to hear that, okay, if it happened, it was bad, that it was of God, but He brings you through trials and tribulations to make you a stronger person. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but I want to talk about your business, Lee Graphics, PR, and Design Group. Tell us a little bit about that.
My graphic design business, I've always been an artist. I was an artist ever since I was a child, and how my business came is, well, let me just start from the beginning, if you don't mind. I was an artist, but I've always drawn and started painting. So one day I was just at my grandmother's house, and what I started doing, I started drawing a boat out in the water and some birds around the boat. And one thing I never forget, my mom came to me and she said, boy, I need to put you in a drawing class. I said, okay. There's something that I definitely love to do. So that's where we started that. I started doing drawing and stuff. But for some reason, I really wasn't interested anymore because I was trying to figure out, okay, how can I make a lot of money by drawing and painting.
Right.
There was no solution. So the solution I had was, okay, and what about going to college and becoming an architect? Well, I said, well, that's going to take a while, and you have to deal with measurements and so forth, and fractions and all that type of stuff. I said, okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do graphic design. Yeah, so my cousin started doing graphic design, and I started following him. I used to go over his house every single day, like to 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, watching him do graphic design. Yeah, so what I did was I actually he showed me the tools, and I taught myself how to do graphic design. So I mastered that skill. And then, I turned it into a business. I started going home, and I had my door shut every single day, just not doing anything, just going at this skill, building my craft and my skill, and just doing it with a passion every single day. Then I decided, hey, I need to turn this into a business. And that's what I did. But right then and there, I wasn't in it for the money because, that was something I love to do. So, of course, you love something, you're just going to do it.
Right.
You're either going to do it every day or you're going to do it all day.
Right.
So that's what I started doing. And, eventually people started seeing my work, and that's how the money came. And so when you follow your passion, of course, the money is going to come. So, and that's how they came about. So I started doing work for celebrities and small businesses and these major corporations, with me just being a beginner and started doing it, I just started seeing potential in myself. Yeah, so I said, hey, I need to branch out a little bit more, and that's why I started doing business for Tyler Perry House of Pain. Doc Shaw, that played on Tyler Perry House of Pain, his mother actually saw me. She said she was watching me for a while on Facebook, and then she reached out to me, and she wanted me to do work for them. So that was a blessing. And that's how they came about, and people was always telling me, hey, you always good in the community, and you always building relationships. You need to add PR to your company. So that's when I added PR, because originally my company name was Elite Graphics.
Okay.
And now it's Elite Graphics PR and Design Group. The reason I put Design Group because eventually, I want to be able to have a lot of employees.
Okay.
And then to start up different companies, I want to make sure they're paid extremely good, and I want my company to be set up differently where they can, if they want to, they can bring their children to work. We have a daycare, and that's my vision as far as having a big major corporation. Some other things. That's basically it.
Before you go on, I want to say I'm glad that you said that if you do what you love, the money will follow, because a lot of people don't understand that. And I understand people are where they are at right now, meaning the economy is where it is, and you may be looking for a job or whatever. But my suggestion to people who are already unemployed, while you're looking for work, start doing what you love and watch and see how the money will follow. You'll start working for yourself, and you won't have to go back into corporate America. I haven't been in corporate America for years, and it looks like, William, you have not either. So I'm glad that you said that, because a lot of people don't get that.
Nah, you got some people who go in and say, hey, this is something I can make a lot of money, but they're not passionate about it.
Right.
But they're looking at the money part, but if they develop their passion and then they convert it into a business, and the money is going to automatically come because you love what you do, you're dedicated.
Right.
And you also be able to network and get clients and stuff, because that's what you love to do, and that's when the money is going to fall in.
Right.
Never fail.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm just saying that system never fails.
Right. And William does great work. He does, in addition to his PR, he does great web designing, book covers. And one thing I didn't know that you did, William, was mobile applications. You do the developing for some of those. Is that challenging for you?
Well, actually, I have my tech guy. That's another component he added to the business, and that's something he handles. So that's just something else that we added to the business to be able to just broaden our horizon and just bring more value to our service and clients. So yeah, that's what I love about it. Everybody wants apps, so I said, okay, this is basically a good idea to have.
And that's another important tip to being an entrepreneur. You can do it by yourself, and we've heard this said a lot, and I've heard it a lot lately. When you collaborate with people with like minds, your business can boom, and it's a win-win situation for all involved. So that's a good service for you to have. And I'm looking at your book designs, and, I mean, you do a great, great job. And I want to go into the segment about your book. You're currently writing a book, correct?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Can you give us a sneak peek of what it's about?
Yeah, absolutely. The book is called Breaking the Mold, and then under that I have Wild Waste Talent, and then my subtitle is Make a Difference and Prove It Can Be Done by Your Decisions. Of course, your dedication,
right,
and then your determination.
Mm-hmm.
So the book is about my past, how far it came, and then where I'm headed and going to inspire, motivate entrepreneurs and business owners, and then, of course, young adults as well. But, I just talk about, how I started my business, the principles that I live by, and daily affirmations, and different secrets to business, having a different mindset. And then, I go into my childhood, how I became a high school dropout 9 years ago. Then I went to college without a diploma starting off. And then I was able to get my diploma. Then I transferred over to another college. So, that is some stuff that I daily talk about as far as my decision, dedication, and determination. But it's going to be a great book. I believe it's going to be a #1 seller. And, I'm just looking to help. Definitely help people, and this is going to be life-changing.
Now, interestingly enough, William's book is called the Breaking the Mold, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that also happens to be William's hashtag on almost everything that he does, and that's a great way to brand. A lot of people don't think that way, and I love the way that you think because I noticed if you follow William on Facebook or Twitter, and we'll have him give that information later on, you will see that he uses that on almost most of his motivational work. He does have affirmations that he uses on a daily basis. I actually follow them, and one of them says, whatever lives in your mouth simply lives in your future. And he has a lot of those, and with that being said, I want to also let you all know that William does mentor a lot of our youth in the community. And, William, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Oh, as far as the youth, I knew that was something I was called to do because I was once where they are at now. I know they're definitely going through some things, and if I can help just break that mold, then that's a goal that I've accomplished. That puts me accountable and saying I helped that particular person, or I helped that group, or I helped that school system, or whatever school was having trouble, whether it's fights or they getting bad grades, or
right,
they having challenges at home. I used to work at a group home where I work with adolescent children.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know what it's like because I was with them every day and going on therapeutic outings and stuff. So I know the attitudes. I used to have attitude years ago. Yes, I had to develop that. But with me not having a father figure, that's not an excuse that I'm a hold on myself, because I had to say, hey, my father didn't do it, so I'm gonna make sure that I get out here and do it. And whenever I have children and get married, I'm gonna make sure that I break that generational curse. And,
right.
And so that's my mindset, and that's what I'm gonna do.
looks like you're doing a good job. People are watching, and that's something I tell people. Be careful what you're doing and how you're doing it, because people are watching you, and people are watching you, William, and I've been watching you, and I'm very, very impressed. And I'll tell you, there are several reasons why I'm impressed. I'm impressed because I'm a fellow entrepreneur who does some of the same work that you do, and you do a good job. Another reason why I'm impressed is because you're youth. To me, you're youth, because I'm a grandmother. So I'm impressed by that. But the main reason why I'm impressed is you're a young black male that has followed his dreams and is doing a good job at it. So many of our black youth are statistics, and they're falling under the trap of being a statistic, and you chose to go the other way, even though you revealed that some things didn't go right in your life in the past. But the important thing is that you've learned from that, and you can admit it and own it, and you know that the only way to go for you is up. So those are some of the things that really, really impressed me about you. Now, can you give our audience tell them where they can find you online, how they can contact you for work, Facebook, Twitter, your website? Can you give that information out?
Yeah, absolutely. They can go to my website. I'm working on my personal website for my book and speaking engagements, and that'll be up soon. That is www.williamleeonline.com.
Okay.
My graphic design business is www.leegraphics.com, and it's LEE. And graphics is spelled GRAPHIX.
Mm-hmm.
P is in Paul, R is in Robert, .com.
Okay.
My Twitter name is Business Mogul WL.
Okay. Okay.
And
they can find you there on Facebook as well under that name, right?
At Business Mogul and William Lee for Facebook.
Okay.
Or they can go to my personal page, and that's William Lee.
Okay. Is it William Lee or William Lee Jr.? Just William Lee?
I believe it's just William Lee. I don't think I added the Jr. on there yet.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's William Lee. Yeah, you're correct. Okay. Well, William, do you have anything else to say to our audience or any tips to give?
I just wanted to say that just break that mold and like as far as breaking the mold, there is no limit to it. Breaking the mold, that can be anything, as far as you doing something different, or you completing a task, or just being different, being a finisher in the world of starters. But like as also I wanted to say is for anybody, for anyone out there that never had a father figure, I don't take it lightly. I don't have any grudges or anything like that. Because what I told myself was, like, when I make it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come home and I'm going to say, I tell my dad he don't have to work anymore, so I'm going to retire him. And even though he didn't do anything for me ever, what I'm going to do is I'm going to retire him. But first I'm going to make sure that I retire my mom because she was there for me since day one.
Right.
And then I just make sure you work on your future every day, because you create your future by what you do today, not tomorrow.
You have a lot of wise words, and I like breaking the mold, be a finisher in the world of starters. I love it. William, thank you for being on our show today. We learned a lot. We were inspired by talking to you, and I'm sure there will be some youth listening to this, and hopefully they will contact you. And I wish you much, much success, and I wish you a very, very Merry Christmas.
And thank you so much for having me, man. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, and you have a good one.
And you too. Merry Christmas.
Merry